Splash Mountain. This is the Battle of the Mountains. Why don't you go first on this one?
So this one I had a hard time with.
It's hard.
It's tough. And first thing I thought of, I love that Disney World's log. You get to sit side by side.
Yeah.
That is like my ultimate, and I wanted it to win just for that reason.
Hello and welcome back to Market House, the podcast where we talk all things Disney. My name is Caleb and I am one of the hosts of this fantastic show, I guess. And here we have Caitlin with us again.
Hey guys.
And we're getting ready to start this episode, which we're really excited about. If you can't already tell by the title, it is a kind of showdown between Disneyland and Disney World when it comes to attractions. So I'll explain kind of the rules and what all that means later, but we've got a lot of news to talk about first. But before we dive in, we've got some exciting news. Do you know what it is?
No.
We bought a steamer.
Oh.
It was something you were really excited about. We went to Costco yesterday or 2 days ago, walking through, buying the usual stuff, groceries, water, all that junk. And then you said, you know what, I could really use a steamer. And they had one.
And it's not just a regular steamer. It's a steamer and an iron, like combined all in one.
We made it.
So Costco's finest. So I'm really excited to use it.
It's a fantastic deal. And if you don't like it or it messes up, you can return it with Costco's fantastic return policy. We're not sponsored by Costco. I wish we were. But just a little shout out. Thanks, Costco, for always providing good products. But enough about steamers and random junk like that. Let's dive into the news.
First up, we actually have some really sad news. It looks like last week Gilbert Gottfried passed away at the age of 67. And for those of you who don't know, he was the voice of Iago in Aladdin. This is super sad. Like, this is a childhood movie that I grew up on, and just knowing that he passed away so young, it's just kind of heartbreaking.
Yeah, he had that iconic voice, which is what she used in various projects over the years, but I mean, the thing we recognize him from is Aladdin. So
it's so sad, but he had a rare genetic muscle disease that affected his heart.
Yeah.
And it's just a bummer. So
unfortunate. 67 years old.
Yeah. That's so sad.
Yeah,
so
really
my heart
sad.
goes out to his family and
too soon.
Yeah.
But I mean, his work will live on, I guess, right? And we remember it.
It's a special movie.
It is a special movie. So, really sad news. Next up, we've got some World of Color news, and it's actually kind of a two-parter. First is they're going to be adding a virtual queue option. So it's going to replace what used to be kind of the Fast Pass thing. So they used to have it set up over by away from the bathrooms.
Right where Little Mermaid is.
Yeah, so it was the Little Mermaid showroom, but it was like on the back end, right?
Mm-hmm.
So a little alleyway leading up to Little Mermaid on the right. Anyways, there used to be a Fast Pass station there that used to get World of Color Fast Passes. That is no longer there since the death of Fast Pass. But it's going to replace this virtual queue option is going to replace that. And so you can probably nab a better viewing area this way instead of, so they have like yellow, green, blue, right? All these different viewing areas. A couple of those are premium spots, and I'll talk about that in a second. But most of it, let's say 60, 70%, are just kind of general admission, but it helps to gain entry to these little sections. You have to have one of these virtual queue spots, right?
Yeah.
So you can join them. It looks like they'll be available every day at 12 p.m., every day that the show's showing, World of Color. You nab this and you can go get into one of those dedicated viewing areas. If you don't do this, if you miss out on getting this virtual queue, you can still watch the show, but you're kind of stuck across the street. So you'll be standing right in front of Little Mermaid and you're kind of far. So you're not only far away from the show, but also there's 1,000 people in front of you. So limited viewing, not ideal. Next on the World of Color news, we have dining packages available starting April 20th, which is pretty awesome. Oh, I'm sorry. You can start booking them April 20th. The shows don't open up till the 22nd.
The 22nd, yeah.
You can start booking these things on the 20th, which I assume will go quick. So if you're interested, definitely jump on that as soon as you can. So to start off, there's a dessert party at Paradise Gardens Park in World of Color. Looks like it starts at $84 per guest.
That's crazy.
That's insane. Tax and gratuity included. Children ages 2 and under may attend free of charge, provided they are seated on the lap of an adult. That sounds fun.
They mentioned that?
Yeah, they do.
Geez.
So if you want a little rambunctious toddler sitting on your lap while you eat dessert, then they're free. Interesting note there. So yeah, dessert package at $84 a pop. So super expensive. We've got actually slightly cheaper options, which this kind of surprises me. Straight up a dinner is cheaper. This doesn't make sense. But Wine Country Trattoria, which is the correct way of pronouncing it, thanks to Stanley Tucci on what's it called? Exploring Italy or whatever.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I don't know.
What's it called? It's so good.
I don't know, but you guys, really quick, off topic, you need to see that show. It's Stanley Tucci has I think it's...
What is it? Something Italy.
Exploring Italy,
something Italy. It is so amazing. Good. We're binging it right now. I think we only have like one episode left. It makes you want to book a flight to Italy the next day.
And eat pasta every second of the day.
Yes, we had spaghetti the other night just because of the show.
It's so good.
But it's such a good show. But he says trattoria in the show, so I've confirmed this is the correct way of pronouncing it. But they are going to offer a 3-course meal from a prefix menu plus a non-alcoholic beverage. So this gives you premium, seating for World of Color. Lunch starts at $50 for adults, $25 for children, and same for dinner. $50 for adults, $25 for children. So if you want a 3-course meal and premium viewing option for World of Color, Wine Country Trattoria is your choice, your pick. Also, Storytellers Cafe is offering the same thing. All you can care to enjoy buffet, a non-alcoholic beverage, dinner starting at $50, and $25 for children.
It's pretty good for all you can eat.
Yeah, that is surprising.
That's very surprising.
I don't understand why dessert's $84 and this is $50.
So the only thing I can think of is a couple years ago when they had the dessert area. Do you remember they had the really tall tables set up right in front of the water? So I don't know if it's that type of viewing experience because the desserts are very small. I remember that.
Yeah, so a better viewing.
I think so. Again, I don't know if they're doing that. That's just what they did a couple years ago. But they had really
Oh, you're right.
They had tall tables set. It was almost like a date night looking kind of thing.
They were right in front, center.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
that makes sense.
It might be that.
So I understand what you're saying.
Because I think you're doing dessert while you're watching the show.
You're right.
Thing.
This is dinner before the show, and then you get. Okay, this making sense. So there are 2 colored sections, green or yellow or something like that.
Blue and yellow.
Blue and yellow. Those are the premium ones. So those are reserved for, right?
Oh well, no, sorry. Blue and yellow are for
those are the general.
Yeah.
Blue and yellow for general. There are 2 other colors that are just for dining package people.
Yeah.
So those I'm assuming are for storytellers and Wine Country.
Yeah.
The dessert is you're eating it during it, and you are right in the middle.
I think it's like a blocked off area.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay, cool.
At least that's what it was a long time ago.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming they're following that.
At least they're providing an option because I think mentioned in the last episode, I wish they would do this because I would pay for it. Because World of Color is my favorite nighttime show, and I would pay to get good viewing for when it's back. So anyways, good news for World of Color. Virtual queue will be available. And if you want to get that premium seating, go ahead and pay up and get some good food and watch it up close.
Next up, we have some exciting news about the Main Street Electrical Parade. For those who have not been on Instagram the past week, these things have been everywhere. But we have a new sipper coming as well as a new popcorn bucket. For those who haven't seen, the sipper is a turtle float, the one that is the main, I would say the most nostalgic part of the Main Street Electrical Parade. It lights up, and then there's a popcorn bucket that looks like Elliot the Dragon, which I have a feeling this is going to be Figment all over again, just in Disneyland, just trying to get these things.
Like 5-hour lines.
Oh, it's going to have to be, especially because they light up. But you're going to be able to get these at various locations throughout the park, a couple counter service areas, as well as the popcorn stand. So just look out for those because those are going to go quick. Everyone on Instagram is talking about getting them. They are limiting, I believe it's 2 per person. So
scalpers, stay home.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, we're not even getting it.
Yeah, like listed on eBay for $500.
Also, with some more news about the Main Street Electrical Parade, Disney did tease a new float, which I'm very excited about. It is going to be a Princess and the Frog themed float, which for those who don't know, I love that movie, so I am so excited to see that. But yeah, I'm interested to see how this goes, and just with all the stuff coming, they're definitely amping everybody up. So it's going to be good. I can't wait.
This is getting hyped.
Can't wait.
I really want the popcorn bucket. I will stand in line. I don't know about 5 hours.
Really?
Yeah.
Elliot the Dragon?
Yeah, because I would actually use the sippers. I'm not going to use at home. The
Yeah,
popcorn bucket I'll use to watch a movie or something.
Yeah. I have a feeling, though, it's one of those that doesn't fit any popcorn in it. It's going to be like a cup of popcorn. Remember those small
Yeah.
ones?
It's true. It's
not
more
like
for
the,
just
it's
display.
like the Jack Skellington one.
Yeah.
It doesn't fit a ton. But, I mean, it lights up. So that's really cool.
Yeah, it's going to be like
Yeah.
$76.
So, yeah, look forward to that. It'll be out, next week.
Yeah.
So, or this coming week, I guess I should say. Yeah,
Exciting.
this week. Yay. Okay, perfect.
Next up is not so much a news item, but more of an announcement or just a, hey, heads up. But the Disneyland Paris resort celebrated the 30th anniversary on March 6th. So it officially kicked off on the 6th. So, wait, does that sound right?
Wait.
Or April 6th.
April 6th.
Sorry, I wrote March.
Oh, it's
my bad.
Yeah, April 6th.
April 6th. Sorry. So started April 6th. And so we watched Provost Park Passes coverage. Mr. Chris Provost
So
himself,
good.
who we met at Disneyland.
We did.
Just a little
He's so
note there.
sweet.
Very nice guy. Nicest dude in the world. But he covered the event. He got invited to fly out there and cover the kind of official birthday of the resort. And it looked awesome.
Yeah.
The energy coming from that place, the cast members looked so flipping excited. The song they played over and over again was
Really
awesome.
good.
Like at the end of it, I was like, oh, I was singing along with them like I was there. And the OG, like their version of the Dapper Dans from their opening year were there.
Which was really neat.
That was cool. So they performed for everyone on Main Street and it just looked awesome. So a little side note, Twitter agrees with me on this one, but Disneyland Paris straight up has a better celebration than Disney World's 50th.
You think so?
Oh, yeah. Because, like, they have actual, like, the parade looked awesome. I don't know. They have actual, like, I think, unique experiences for their anniversary.
Yeah.
I don't think they have anything over at Disney World to compare. It's just kind of like, oh, here's some merchandise.
Yeah.
And you know, we decorated the castle a certain way. But other than that, you wouldn't know
Yeah.
it's the 50th.
I do have to say, I really thought their logo with the way that they did the 30th,
So
how it was
cool.
the Mickey ears.
Yeah, the three looked like the Mickey ears.
That is such a clever idea. So whoever did that, A+. That was
Yeah,
great.
I'd rather, honestly, like, I'd rather make a special trip, or not, but a special trip just to see the 30th celebration in Paris. I don't feel as pressure to go to Disney World to see their 50th.
Yeah.
So,
Although
anyways.
I really want to see the 50th.
I know. We'll probably end up doing it, but a little more accessible to us than Paris.
Right.
But yeah, Paris doing a fantastic job for their 30th anniversary.
Next up, we have some new main attraction merch. For those who don't know, we just had the Space Mountain merch. It's been out for like a month, I believe. A month or so, maybe longer.
Yeah, around there.
But they just released the new theme, and it's a small world. And I have to say, I really, really like this one.
Yeah, so they have a little teaser of the merch, right?
Yeah. So there's, of course, the key. There's a really cool Mickey pin. And keep in mind for this collection, it's a lot of like pastel colors, which is really pretty.
Yeah, first was Space Mountain?
Yes, Space Mountain.
Okay.
And then this one is It's Small World. But yeah, the Mickey pin, I believe the pin's $20.
Yikes.
But again, it's all pastels, purple, pink. There's like a teal color. There's some yellow.
Oh, in that case.
It's really cute. I was actually surprised. Again, I'm not obsessed with It's a Small World, but I have to tell you, the ears are really cute and the backpack is adorable. Like I think I might need to get the backpack.
Oh.
There's like sequins purple on it. The pocket is pink and it looks like the Mickey, like it has
Buttons.
little buttons on it. It's super cute. And of course, there's the plush. So look out for that. That should be at the park soon. It's very cute. I highly recommend that one. Not as so much the Space Mountain one, but definitely It's a Small World.
Yeah, what is that? Do you know when that comes available soon?
I believe it's going to be coming out in the next week or so.
Okay,
No date yet, but
cool.
it should be out soon.
Couple weeks.
Yeah.
Cool. And this doesn't deserve its own little news story, but just a side note here before we dive into the main segment. What's it called? Expedition Everest opened.
Yes.
Yeah, so they took the date off. There was this weird, like, no one knew when it was going to open. Did something happen? But I think it opened the 16th, the day we're recording today.
Yes. So if
So
you're
open back
there
up.
in the next week, head on over there, have
Yeah,
some.
there's a lot of, like, clickbait titles, news, like, articles, like, they kept saying, Disney World Park empty because of attraction closure.
Oh, yeah.
And they're trying to make it seem like no one was there.
No,
because
people are there.
Yeah, a little thing called Pandora's there with Flight of Passage.
People
and
are there and it's spring break. People are there.
get out.
Yeah. Head over to Expedition Everest. Say hello to the Yeti.
It's opened up.
Yep.
All right, so that brings us to our main segment of this episode, and that is Disneyland versus Disney World Attractions Edition. So not overall, not including hotels, not including food options, not including general whatever. This is just when it comes to attractions. So we're going to pit up an attraction that you can both see at Disneyland and Disney World. So example, we'll start off with Haunted Mansion. So you can see this attraction both at Magic Kingdom and Disney World and Disneyland over on the West Coast. And we'll compare just both of their versions. Which one do we think wins out for a few reasons? I used a few classifications. I think you did too. And we broke it down this way. I considered the overall appearance of the attraction, the queue, which is an important part because you're in there most of the time, 60 minutes usually, and the overall, just the ride. So the ride experience itself. So once you're sitting in that ride vehicle and you're going through, what does that look like compared to the other, and who wins out? So whoever takes 2 or 3, 2 out of 3 or all 3 of those kind of classifications or those breakdowns would win that round, I guess. Yeah. And we also opened this up on Instagram, right?
Yes, and I just want to say really quick, thank you so much for all of you that voted on Instagram. It was really fun seeing everyone's just what they prefer. I was surprised on a couple of them.
Yeah, so you did like a poll, right?
Yes, so basically, again, just like what we're doing, I just named the ride, and then is it Disneyland or Disney World? People were quick, and I was surprised. You could tell there's definitely some cult followers on certain rides.
Yeah,
so,
bias from what state they live in.
Yes.
So yeah, we'll share that as well, and we'll kind of rank that, or throw it out there.
Yeah.
So So yeah, let's start. Let's do this thing. So we're going to start with Haunted Mansion. So do you want me to go first? Do you want to go?
Yeah, you go ahead.
Okay. So let's talk appearance first and who I think wins that round.
Perfect.
Or that section. Disneyland.
Okay.
Because number one, it actually looks like a haunted. So I know both have different styles, right? Disney World's a gothic castle looking brick, like what you'd see in, I don't even know where you'd see this kind of house.
It's more gothic, I feel like.
Yeah, like Northeast maybe. And the Disneyland version is kind of like it almost looks like a haunted plantation. So like something you see in the South, Louisiana. Like if you rolled up on an old home in Louisiana and it was haunted, that is what that looks like.
Yeah.
So I kind of like that style more. It is just genuinely creepy, even if it's not a haunted house. If you pulled up on an old home in the Bayou down in Louisiana, you'd be like, bruh, I'm not going in that house. So anyways, it's just creepy in general, and it's classic. It's Disneyland, man. This was the last, or one of the last attractions that Walt worked on, so that's unfair, but that's where that's at. The queue, another Disneyland win, and that is because I'll give credit to Disney World. In their queue, the external part of it is better. You walk along the rivers of America right there, so it's way prettier. You've got an interactive cemetery thing out in the front. You have there's like dead people talking to you.
Yeah, in Disney World.
It's way more interactive in Disney World. Way more interactive. So way more entertaining. But Disneyland is cool because you have to go underground. The elevator actually works, and as a functioning elevator, you have to actually use. And you have to walk underneath, and it kicks you out of the berm. There's just way more like technicality and complexity with it. And the hallway's a classic with the pictures, the heads at the end of the hall looking at you. I know they fit that in the ride at Disney World, but you have to walk past it in the Disneyland version. That wins. But I will have to give the ride experience to Disney World. And that's because of the added scenes they have. So you've got the library scene, you've got the staircase scene with like the footprints going upside down, and they just have updated features, I guess. They don't have the Hatbox Ghost.
That's true.
But it's just updated lighting, updated effects. It just looks a little better on the inside.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if you add it all up, Disneyland takes the cake for me on this one. What do you think?
So I disagree. Let me just so right off the bat,
Tell me why you're wrong.
I feel like I feel like Disney World overall is going to take the cake on this one.
Wow.
But I do have to say, I do agree with you on the outside appearance of the ride. Disneyland is the winner of that one. The Disneyland one, again, is so much creepier. It's just so creepy compared to the one in Disney World. That one's kind of off-putting because it sits back, but it doesn't feel as big and as creepy and
imposing.
As the one in Disneyland.
Okay.
So I do have to give Disneyland the appearance of the outside of the ride. However, I feel like the queue at Disney World is way better than the Disneyland one.
Dang.
There's interaction, like when you're going and the dead people are talking to you, and you're going past like Madame Leota's like grave, or the grave, right? Or it's like her tombs, her head's
They're
out
like
there.
raised. Yeah.
That's creepy. And you're walking, and again, just the ambiance of you're walking along the water leading up to the mansion. Like it's just pulling you in. So basically that, number one. And then when you get inside, yeah, it doesn't have the elevator, but just overall, that ride is just scary. Like, it's not just, I feel like the one in Disneyland, it's kind of like, oh, that's funny. That's kind of, it's kind of creepy. But the one in Disney World is just creepy. You get out, you go along that hallway, and, as you're starting in the themed hallway, it takes you that bookcase on like the left side. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I think
right
so.
when you get in like the dune buggy, there's like a little bookcase on the left hand side of this corner. And there's like a flickering light.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
super creepy.
It kind of sets the tone.
Yes, and then it leads you into that humongous staircase room with like the footprints going up and down, and it looks like there's a bajillion staircases. And then the bookcase room where all the books are, and it's like the heads. That's just so creepy to me. I don't know. I don't know. It's so much. It's just creepy.
Sure.
I love it. And I do have to say the scariest part of that entire ride is in the ballroom scene with the big dining table. For those who have not seen this, there is a dead person laying on the ground under the table.
Oh, yeah. So like if you look kind of closely, you can see the glowing body essentially of someone underneath the table.
It is the scary, and
it's super
we
dark,
checked last
man.
time at Disneyland and it wasn't there.
No.
So it's only the Disney World one.
It's super
So
dark.
next time you go, look for that. It's terrifying. But yeah, I
point
had
out
to
your
say
12-year-old kid.
Disney World.
Okay, wow. So we disagree on that. What did Instagram say?
So Instagram did choose Disneyland. So Caleb, they are with you on that one.
All right, so Disneyland wins then.
Yep,
2
Disneyland's a winner.
against 1. Okay, we're gonna have to go kind of quick because we're already burning some time here. So let's move on. Big Thunder Mountain. That sound right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Right.
let me tell you why Disney World wins this for me. The appearance, Disney World takes the cake because, again, kind of unfair, but pure scale, Disney World's able to dedicate way more space for this ride. So it actually feels like you're in a mining town almost when you're leading up to the actual mountain, right? The queue, again, feels very minecarty. There's way more interactive things to do in this attraction, of this ride. I think there's an option where if you like fiddle with something, TNT blows up out in this field. It feels like you're actually in a mining town. And the ride, it has to go to Disney World. It looks more fun. I don't know why. It just looks like a better time. So we've both been on both. We've been on Disneyland's version 30 billion times more than Disney World's. But from kind of rewatching on YouTube just to kind of spark my memory, I have to go with Disney World on this one. Again, kind of unfair since Disneyland's so confined with space, but at the end of the day, Disney World is better.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I also chose Disney World. I prefer the theming. I feel like the ride itself is longer. I do have to say the only thing that I'm not a fan of, which I would choose Disneyland over, is I love that Disneyland's line is all outside. So you know how in Disney World it's all inside, you're going back and forth. In the summertime, it's really hot in there. And we didn't even go in summer. We went in spring and we were dying
Toasty.
in there. So I really appreciate that Disneyland's line is outside. However, overall, the ride, I love the Disney World one. You're along the water when you're going on the train.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, right. It's right on the river.
Yeah, and the opening scene when you first get on the ride, it takes you to that cave area. Disneyland's is so small compared to that. So yeah, overall, Disney World for sure.
Nice. We agree.
But our followers chose
Instagram?
Disneyland.
Instagram chose Disneyland.
Disneyland. And it was by a lot. 70% of people chose Disneyland and 30% Disney World. So
crazy. Okay, so
Disney World still won because we got
people on Instagram, you're wrong. It looks like Disney World takes the prize on that one. So far we have Haunted Mansion going to Disneyland, and we've got Big Thunder Mountain going to Disney World. All right, let's move on. Splash Mountain. This is the Battle of the Mountains. Why don't you go first on this one?
So this one I had a hard time with.
It's hard.
It's tough. And first thing I thought of, I love that Disney World's log. You get to sit side by side.
Yeah.
That is my ultimate. And I wanted it to win just for that reason. But after I sat down and thought about it for a little bit, I had to choose Disneyland. I really enjoy the layout that Disneyland's has, where it's like in Frontierland. It's right by the Haunted Mansion. For the actual queue, it loops you around by Winnie the Pooh. It just seems more...
it's in Critter Country,
Critter Country.
Right? Yeah.
Sorry, not... What did I say?
Frontierland.
Frontierland. Sorry, I'm thinking of Big Thunder.
You're still on Big Thunder. I was like, wait, I don't think
yeah,
it's
just the theming overall. I like how it loops you through the queue. It just looks more natural. The Disney World one, it kind of just looks like it's just thrown there.
Yeah.
I don't know why. That's just my personal opinion. But I love just all the trees surrounding it. When you actually get up, I know, again, the log, you have to sit like one behind the other kind of thing. So that does make me sad. But other than that, one other major thing on the ride, when you're going down the big waterfall, the drop, I should say, not the waterfall.
Yeah.
I like the view. This is silly. I like the view better at Disneyland because it overlooks Tom Sawyer, the Mark Twain. Yeah. Disney World is kind of just like, meh.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Rest of a theme park.
Yeah.
I got you. And I chose Disneyland as well for pretty much all the above reasons you mentioned. So fits perfectly in Critter Country. It like was made, pretty much made for that attraction. Perfect area.
It's perfect.
Perfect. So fits the theming perfectly. The queue, I'm going to give it like a tie because they look identical to each other. Not much variation. The overall ride experience, Disneyland. I don't know. The single row doesn't really bother me that much, only because it's so classic. I don't know. When I think of Splash Mountain, I do think of my legs being all like, like squishing my feet against the sides of the logs so they don't get wet.
I just like being able to like duck and cover next to you.
Yeah.
Make you get all wet.
Use me as a shield.
Yeah.
And no lap restraints. If I'm not mistaken, Disney World has lap restraints. Disneyland's free, man.
I don't remember that at Disney World.
Just depends on, it's just gravity, baby.
Yeah.
Keeping you in that seat.
Hey.
So, Disneyland World's version has better lighting inside. I'll give them that. You can actually see more what's going on. Disneyland's very dark recently. Mm-hmm. They need to update some lights. And the ending scene.
Yes.
Our ending scene. When you go in, after the big drop and you roll through, and what song's playing? It's the zippity-doo-dah, zippity-day. You come across this giant paddle boat. It's a classic, right? And all those old... Yeah, it's all the old animatronics from another show that was around. You've got the Disneyland Railroad coming through.
It's iconic.
It's so iconic. Disney World doesn't have that.
No.
So Disneyland takes the cake on that one. What did Instagram have to say?
And Instagram
agrees
took
with
our
us.
Side. Disneyland for sure. But I do have to say it was very close.
Close, 56 to 44%. Yeah.
One of the closest by far. So again, I think it's because Disney World has side-by-side seating, but...
that side-by-side seating is very popular with the people. Okay, so Splash Mountain goes to Disneyland. So Disneyland's winning so far. We've got 2 attractions to Disneyland. 1 attraction goes to Disney World. This brings us to one that pretty much, I'm not even going to we'll spend 2 minutes on it because it's so easy.
Yeah.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, and everyone in this world is all in agreement, even Instagram. It was 100% for this ride.
100% of people agreed.
I'm going to speak for the people. Okay, we love the Disneyland version. I'm sorry, but Disney World is terrible.
It's bad.
It's terrible.
Hold on. If you did not experience Disneyland ever in your life and you just rode Disney World, it'd be a decent ride.
It'd be decent. But
it wouldn't be the classic it is, I don't think.
No, but it's just just starting off at the beginning. With the way you enter, it just doesn't seem right. Like the Pirates, the Caribbean flag.
It's in their Adventureland too.
It's weird.
Ours is in New Orleans Square, made for New Orleans Square.
Yeah, but I do have to say though, the Disney World queue is slightly better. I feel like.
Dang, really?
Not overall, and so that's kind of confusing. Not overall, but I do like that it makes you feel like you're kind of going through. And,
I had that down too.
Yes. Now with Disneyland, when you see that opening scene with the treasure map and the parrot. And you smell that water.
Heck yeah.
That's just the most iconic. Again, we're talking Blue Bayou scene. Disney World doesn't have that. We're talking the whole 2 drops. Disney World only has 1. It's just little things like that. We were like...
And, again, a cool thing, the drops actually, it serves a function. It's getting you underneath the Disneyland Railroad tracks because it runs right over the ride itself.
Yeah.
So... yeah, I think it's amazing, just the engineering and the function of it.
It's Walt's baby.
It is Walt's baby, man. That ride was so impressive. And again, it's the original. Unfair to pit that up against Disney World. But it's a solid 3 or 4 minutes longer than Disney World's.
Oh, yeah. Disney World's is so short.
Yeah, it's missing a ton of scenes. Not a ton, but a few important ones to kind of set the mood. When you're going by and you hear that guy in the banjo, you see the little, lightning bugs.
Yes.
You see people eating next to you, the sound of clattering dishware.
And the smell.
It's so iconic, good. Man. And so, this one wasn't even close. We both agreed Disneyland was better, and Instagram agreed with us. So not going to spend too much time on that. I think if you've been on both, you'll know who wins. Next up, we have Winnie the Pooh.
This one was hard for me.
This was a tough one. Why don't you start? This is your ride.
And I'm not going to lie, I couldn't choose.
You can't do that.
No, I know. This one, I literally, I had the hardest time with this one because it's so conflicting. At first, I wanted to say Disneyland, and here's why. The ambiance of the outside of that ride is absolutely beautiful. Mm-hmm. The trees, it looks like a meadow.
The creek.
The creek is going through. I actually prefer the ride vehicle at Disneyland versus Disney World. Disney World does the honey pots, and at Disneyland, it's kind of, what are they called?
They're like beehives.
They're little beehives, and that's the cutest thing ever. Mm-hmm. And there's they're all named, and there's little bumblebees on them. Like, it's just so cute. So yeah, I prefer those, but also the Disney World one has so many more scenes than the Disneyland one. Like inside overall, I think Disney World takes the cake, but I feel like ambiance-wise on the outside, Disneyland takes it.
Dude, you hit it on the head.
And I can't pick because I'm like, I don't know if I could pick, because overall, Disney World's on the outside, I don't like. But Disney, it's so beautiful at Disneyland, but on the inside, if you're going based on a ride, I would say Disney World.
Okay.
And when you end the ride in Disneyland, that store, how it just takes you to it, Pooh's Corner is the cutest store. That's my favorite store in the whole park. It's it's so pretty. Yeah.
So I'll help you out here. And I think that people on Instagram agree with me. Disneyland takes this one, I think, pretty easily. But I agree with everything you said. And I won't repeat everything, but I'll pretty much just go, yep, I had the same exact notes. But fits perfectly in Critter Country. Again, it makes you feel like the land was built just for Winnie the Pooh or Splash Mountain. You can make the same argument for both. Walking across the bridge to get in the line, right? That little bridge that takes you over the creek is so amazing. You've got the Disneyland Railroad coming right across you in the line. You stand right under the tracks.
It's just beautiful.
It's beautiful. That part of the park is gorgeous. The queue, Disneyland, again, way better than Disney World. Disney World's a bunch of switchbacks. It's ugly as heck on the side. Is it in Fantasyland?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's real smushed. Everything's on the side
They do have that play area, though. Rabbit's Garden. That's cool for kids.
It's cool for kids. We don't have any.
No.
So that doesn't really play into this. But Disney World, I would say, internally, the ride itself is better. So you're right. They have better scenes. I
love that.
The book theme, too.
Yeah, the storybook the whole time. It just feels like it's following a story. And again, the books are just so cute.
Yeah. But yeah, overall, like the appearance of it, again, Critter Country, it's perfect. Disneyland takes the cake for me. You're split. Instagram agrees, so it looks like
I'll just have to say Disneyland.
Okay, so this one, all three.
I would be so sad if they got rid of it at Disneyland.
All 3 points go to Disneyland. Woo-hoo! So Disneyland takes the cake again. Good grief, people. So we have one final one, and this one's a tough one. I thought it was tough. You might not have agreed, but Jungle Cruise.
Yep.
And
this one's special to me.
And I will. Really quick. There are some honorable mentions which we will touch on at the very end. So if you're not like, what the heck, you didn't cover XYZ.
Yeah, we didn't want to make it a 2-hour podcast.
No, we didn't want to make this like an hour and a half long. And I'll get to why we didn't include these in main segment. But Jungle Cruise. So tell me why. This one's very special. One of the first few trips that we went to Disney World together, we ate at Skipper's Canteen. And then, which is the restaurant across from Jungle Cruise at Disney World. Yeah.
And then we went on the ride after. So it always has like a special memory to me.
Because Skipper Canteen is like themed off of.
Right, exactly. But you know what? I have to say though, overall, I think Disneyland takes it on this one. I think Disneyland's is themed way better. It's in just the outside look, it's a 2-story, like kind of like queue. It looks better. The Disney World one kind of just has like metal sheets all over it.
Yeah.
It's
supposed to look, I think, like
which I get it.
Yeah.
It just, the Disneyland one is pretty,
Sure.
I do have to say, which is one thing that I noticed in the Disney World Jungle Cruise, there is way more storyline as you're going through the queue that ties into the story with Skipper's Canteen. So if you've never eaten at Skipper's Canteen, I highly recommend it because the whole reason of that restaurant, they explain in the queue of the ride. Yeah. Like why it's there, why it's established, why they're looking for certain people.
Like the owner's daughter runs something.
The restaurant, right?
Yeah.
So I really like the queue at Disney World. It's great. For the ride itself at Disneyland, I feel like the foliage is way thicker and more dense. That I to some that might not be a big deal, but I feel like it really draws me in. Like I feel like I'm in the jungle when I look at the Disneyland one. Not to say that the Disney World one doesn't have a ton of jungle feeling, but I just feel it feels more real at Disneyland. And I do have to say the Disney World cave on the Jungle Cruise ride.
It's cool.
That is the coolest.
It's a whole extra scene, so we don't have that.
We don't have that.
Yeah.
And I think that is cool. But overall, I have to say Disneyland.
I agree. We're agreeing with each other, man. And again, Instagram has our backs. They took it, pretty handily. 78% goes to Disneyland, 22% with Disney World. So yeah, again, like the reasons Caitlin kind of mentioned, way better building and look with the overgrown trees. It feels really tucked away in Adventureland. Like it's tucked in the corner. It feels like this mysterious building of like, hey, come take this jungle tour on this really rickety boat. It feels way more legit.
Yeah.
Disney World's looks like a attraction. It looks like I'm getting in line for a ride. Whereas Disneyland, the ride doesn't really come out of the front. You don't see a bunch of people waiting. So it looks like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna go in this building. And so really cool theming. The queue, Disneyland, I think takes it. It was close because I think Disney World is cool too, but our multi-level, you go upstairs and you go around.
Yeah.
That's pretty iconic. And the ride, I'd have to give to Disney World because of that added scene. The cave,
really?
I'd have to say the overall ride experience at Disney World is better because they just have an extra scene. They have more space, again, kind of unfair, but I don't know. And it looks a little newer, right? It's a little less banged up.
Yeah. See, I think that the Disney World one has way less, or they have way more blank space.
I thought the same thing.
So that was interesting.
Yeah, it's not as filled with as many animals.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, Disneyland, it's a classic.
It's classic.
It's great.
I love it. But I do have to say, if you were at Disney World, go to Skipper's Canteen. It's so good.
Food.
Get the fried chicken with rice, the sauce that they put on it. Oh.
Yeah, and they made it gluten-free for me.
Yes, it was so good. And they have like an orange. What juice is it? It's orange.
I think they called it like
mango and like papaya or something.
Yeah, I forgot the name of the drink. It was a non-alcoholic little juice thing.
So good.
It could have come from a bottle for all I know. I don't know.
But it was so good.
It could have been made by Sunny Maid or something like that. But it was delicious, man.
You have to get it. It's the perfect combo. It was refreshing and
it's an orangish color.
Yeah.
Get it.
Go to Skipper's Canteen.
Yeah. So honorable mentions. And again, this is something we didn't want to break down because we had so many to talk about. And I think we included actually a couple of these in the Instagram poll thing. So first up is Small World. And this one, I think this was, again, everyone agreed the Small World in Disneyland is so much better. It's nearly identical inside, so we didn't want to talk about the breakdown of that. But the building itself, the show building,
it's absolutely
so
gorgeous.
much better. Disney World is tucked in a building, which is so weird to me.
Yeah.
It's inside.
And like just for like during Christmas time.
Yeah, it's all lit
gorgeous.
Up. Oh yeah. So Disneyland by far wins. And Instagram agreed with us at 100% of people voting Disneyland. Next up, Space Mountain. If you asked me, if you kind of put me in a corner and said you better pick one right now, I'd probably pick Disney World only because it actually feels more spacey to me.
What?
Yeah, because when you're actually on the attraction, you see like this rocket ship thing next to you. You go through this like part of the attraction where like the orange lights. I don't know. It feels cooler.
I feel like
I don't like the ride I don't like it a lot. Yeah. So you're asking the wrong guy.
Well, it's just you get a little motion sick on it.
I do.
I feel like just if you're keeping it short and like quick, I think Disneyland takes it on the outside of the ride. Disney World takes it on the inside of the ride.
Okay. So let's let Instagram pick this one.
Yeah.
Since I don't have a strong opinion on it. Disneyland wins.
89% for Disneyland and then 11% for Disney World.
No love for Disney World. Ouch.
Again, I think it's the iconic theming on the outside of Disneyland.
Yeah.
It's just that white. It's the white mountain. Mm-hmm. It's classic.
Yep. Okay. And the last one, and we might be missing a few, but we don't have all day. And you don't have all day, I bet. So you don't want to hear us talk about this for 2 hours. Little Mermaid. And I wanted to talk about this because Little Mermaid is one of my favorite rides because it's my go-to, feel good when it's hot outside or when we're leaving the park and you want a quick little goodbye Disney or hello Disney. It's a 5-minute wait usually, and it's a great attraction. I would say Disney World wins this one. And
I completely agree.
Yeah. Did we include that?
Yeah.
Okay.
This one was close, and I was very surprised on this one.
I was surprised too. So I think Disney World takes it because of the appearance. It looks so much better then Disneyland's a giant show building. They don't do a good job of hiding it either.
No.
It's just this giant building that I don't even understand the theming around it.
And the queue at Disney World is themed. Remember those little crabs?
Yes.
That if you like, what is it? If you like look at them, they like.
If you like move your hand or something like that, then he'll like take, I don't know.
He like
it's a little mini game.
Or like you try and catch him stealing
Something
jewels
like
or something like that.
I don't know.
So fun.
Yeah, so much better. And you're like walking through, there's a big waterfall. You can see the castle up in the distance.
Yeah.
This winding, elaborate queue.
I love it.
And did you hear about the orb that fell and smashed on the ground?
No.
Yeah, in the Little Mermaid attraction, there are these like, there was a glass orb in like this net. That was part of the...
Fell?
It fell and smashed on the ground and glass shards went everywhere.
Did anyone get hurt?
I don't think so.
Oh, I didn't even hear about that.
Yeah. So people were actually like going, why was it actually glass? Like, why didn't they make it out of some kind of...
I'm very surprised it was glass.
Yeah. So they closed it down for a while, cleaned it up, and then opened it back up. But
oh
yeah.
my gosh.
So
Can you imagine that fell on someone?
I know. So glass orb is now missing. But yeah, Disney World, again, the attraction itself inside is pretty much identical. But the appearance and stuff, I think Disney World takes it. You agree, but Instagram disagrees with us. They think Disneyland is better.
This was the closest one. 56% of you voted for Disneyland, 44% for Disney World. Again, I don't know why.
No, it's the appearance. Why they
won.
chose. Sorry. Yeah. I don't know why. I think there's a little bit of bias playing.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people from California.
You know what? I love me some California, but I have to say Disney World. You got it.
Yeah. So again, if we're looking back at this list, Disneyland takes the whole thing nearly. I think only one Big Thunder Mountain, right?
Well, I personally, you and Instagram caught me on that
but
one.
Everyone else agrees that Disneyland has the better rides. So, and I've heard this. I think people agree that if you stacked Disneyland, most of these are in Magic Kingdom, right? Or almost all of them. If you stacked Disneyland up against Magic Kingdom, Disneyland by far wins easily. But people have a hard time when it comes to the Disneyland Resort as a whole compared to Walt Disney World as a whole.
Yeah.
So that's a much harder decision to make, like overall, which one do you like or prefer? But when it comes to Disneyland versus Magic Kingdom, the quality of rides at Disneyland far surpasses, I think, Magic Kingdom.
Yeah.
We're going to played out.
We're going to have to do a podcast on that. Because
Overall,
that's a very controversial...
It's hard. My answer changes, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think 90% of the time, I won't give it away now, but 90% of the time it is one answer.
Yeah.
But there are some times when I go, you know what? This is my preferred.
They're just totally different.
Different beasts.
It's very hard to compare. But again, those people that are diehards for California, like, because it's the OG, like Walt's baby, like some are just that. And then there's others that are like, no, Disney World. Why would you even like Disneyland? It's so small.
Yeah.
So
they only have 3
we'll have
hotels.
To do an episode on that.
They have 20 something.
Yeah. Let us know if you want to hear that. We'll do
the breakdown.
The
showdown. All right. So Disneyland takes it, I think, for the most part. Almost every single ride went to Disneyland. And so if you're a Disneyland fan, you should be pretty proud now. But that brings us to the end of our episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Our little breakdown of all the attractions at both Disneyland and Disney World and how they compare. If you don't already, follow us over on Instagram at Market House Podcast. You can also do the same over at Twitter. I'm kind of dabbling in the Twitter.
Yeah.
I'm tweeting once in a while. So Caitlin does the Instagram. I'm messing with Twitter. And half the time I don't know what I'm doing, but it's fun.
Yeah, but you know what, though? For quick news and like breaking stuff, Caleb's really quick to get that on there. And then again, he's posting just, little things about what we're doing with the podcast and things might come up. So
Market House Pod, I think, is the username.
Yes,
Market House Pod.
At Market House Pod on Twitter. And definitely if you want to be in the news and in the now, go over on Twitter.
But if you haven't left a review yet, please, I know you haven't because we don't have one yet, but if you want to be the first to leave us a review on both Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, you can do a written one. Spotify is just the stars, but either one is super appreciated just because that helps us with the old algorithm and showing up when people search for Disney podcasts. Yeah, and I wanted to take a moment. Last week we did an episode on Market House. On the podcast itself? We did an episode on Club 33, and I mentioned getting a pair of ears, and that I was so sad that I didn't get those. And I just wanted to say thank you to someone that reached out to me. I had a couple people reach out saying that they were willing to get me the ears at Club 33. Super nice. And I think you said it totally in jest, like just messing around on the podcast. People were like, no, I think I'm going. Yes. Do you want me to grab you a pair? So sweet.
The followers that we have are it made me I was blown away. I can't even talk. I appreciate that so much.
Very
that
nice
you guys
offer.
would do that.
Yeah.
So again, you know who you are. We've talked. I just want to say thank you so much again. That was very sweet of you.
Yep.
So
and definitely didn't need to do that, but appreciate the offer and just being generally nice people.
Yeah.
Yep. We need that more in the world.
I love it.
A lot of hate out there.
Yep. Thanks.
A lot of nasty things, but you guys are awesome.
Yep. Thanks for being friends.
Sorry, I cut you off there.
No, it's good. I'm talking
Thanks
to my
for being my friend. All right. Thank you so much for listening. Have a great week. We will see you next time.
See ya.